Like Lena said, I'm Lisa Crookston. We have, my husband Tom and I, we have 9 children. We've homeschooled all of them. We're still homeschooling. About the end of 2002, my daughter Amanda, who's our oldest, finished up 7th grade. And up to that point, our curriculum consisted of things that I pieced and parted from different places. I bought a little bit from Seton. I love their readers, Faith and Freedom readers. I bought some things from Mother Divine Grace, and Rainbow Resource is another catalog of homeschooling materials. But I wasn't enrolled with a school. And so, like I said, at the end of 7th grade, for Amanda, and we had just had our 7th child, I started thinking, well, I know I'm going to continue homeschooling through high school. I really need to get serious about certain things. And so I was looking at Seton, Mother Divine Grace, Colby is another one, a homeschool out there. And I started thinking about what I need. Realistically, I started talking to other ladies in Arch. Mary Murphy was one of them, and asking around, well, what do you do for high school? Mary, you know, I talked to you at length at time about she makes her own transcripts, and other women were involved with Colby and Seton and Mother Divine Grace. And I thought I have to be realistic. I just had my 7th child. There's no way that I am going to make my own transcripts for high school. So I started thinking, well, I need a little bit more structure in the curriculum. Record keeping was another thing. I had always done grades and had issued grade cards to my kids, just bought little grade cards. And I thought about transcripts. And also, along the line, I thought, okay, I'm not really sure, you know, what are the requirements for phys ed? For fine arts, is there foreign language requirements? And all that, and I thought I really need to look into a school. And also, at the end, then we wanted to receive a diploma from an accredited school. I think at the end of your 12th grade, I really wanted them to receive a diploma. So up until this point, we had followed what was considered a classical approach to the curriculum. Classical approach is, in 3rd grade, we started studying about ancient Egypt and ancient Greece and the ancient worlds, along with the U.S. history. And as I was researching, I found that we moved into with Mother Divine Grace perfectly. It just fit what we were already doing. And so I enrolled with them. Enrolled is, and with Mother Divine Grace, they enroll the entire family. Some of the other schools, I believe, you can enroll only certain children. But with them, it's the whole family is enrolled. And this is like the newest enrollment book that you receive once you enroll with them. This has all the forms, all the requirements. It has the grade report cards in here that you need to. This is like, you do not lose this. You do not lose this at all. So we enrolled with Mother Divine Grace then. And at that point, I just lost my place here. Okay, so we just enrolled then with Mother Divine Grace, and we've gone from there. We have a consultant, someone who I talk to on the phone or through email 3 times a year. It's been the same lady all since 2003. And like I said, that's 3 times a year. They keep all records for us. We send in at the end of January, 1st semester, grades are due, and samples of their work. Then at the end of June, 2nd semester is due, the grades and samples of their work. And like I said, the samples that you have to send in, everything is listed in this enrollment book, so you know what to send in to them. What Mother Divine Grace uses, and I know Elena said this is a list of the Ohio requirements for high school, but I just had some things down here. This is kind of the high school of Mother Divine Grace in a nutshell. In 9th grade, the religion is faith and morality. And there is earth science, algebra 1, grammar and composition, U.S. history and geography, and U.S. literature, a foreign language, phys ed, and a fine art. And that would be your 9th grade studies. 10th grade, sacraments and apologetics is studied. Natural science, geometry, ancient history and geography, and ancient history and literature. Again, you'd have your 2nd year of foreign language and your 2nd year of phys ed. So the high school, you have 2 years of phys ed, which is required, and only 1 year of fine art. They also require that you have 2 years of a foreign language. Now, that by no means means that you can stop there. You know, if your child really loves and is excelling in Spanish, then you can take Spanish 3, Spanish 4, or, you know, you take 2 years of Spanish and then go into studying French or Latin. 11th grade is the Bible study, biology, algebra 2, medieval history and geography, and medieval literature. And also if you're continuing with a foreign language. 12th grade, your senior year, is the religion is Catholic doctrine, advanced math, chemistry and lab, health, which is just 1 semester of health, government and economics, British history, and British literature. And the way that they handle phys ed and fine arts, those are normally classes that don't have grades attributed to them. So they give you forms where you keep track of how many hours you spend. If your child, like there's a homeschool soccer league that we belong to. We meet in the fall, we play in September and October, and we play again in April and May. And so I log those hours and turn that in. The time that we're there, the time that they practice, and so that's their phys ed. And also, you know, the activity that they do at home. If they're out shooting baskets in the driveway, you can count that. You know, whatever. I have a couple of the boys who love to get together with friends and do airsoft. And they're running around fields and in the woods and stuff like that. That's physical activity. And some of the fine arts we've done is, my daughter played guitar for 5 years. We've done drawing, fashion design, and crochet has counted for our fine arts. I really like the flexibility that Mother Divine Grace allows you to have. Even, I know this is high school, but down even in the elementary grades, you know, I've switched a little bit with some of the math classes. With the younger kids, they allow you to use, like I think the younger kids, they recommend Abeka. I like Modern Curriculum Press, the MCP, phonics, and math, and I've used those up to 3rd grade. Never had any problems. They accept that. Also, we have the flexibility, and I'm not sure, we're going to talk about that later about Brooke Roberts, the Fruits of the Spirit Academy. Okay, good.
And she's also listed in the brochure.
Okay, great. We have, it's called Fruit of the Spirit Academy, and it meets in Norton. And Mother Divine Grace has given us the flexibility to use these tutors, which I really like. My children have taken the literature and history classes and chemistry and lab, and also Spanish 1. And, you know, they help with those classes that are a little more difficult to teach at home, especially chemistry and chemistry lab. You know, I felt that was a little difficult to teach. And Brooke Roberts is just fantastic. And my girls, because I have older girls, that have learned so much with writing, the skills with writing that they've used all the way through college. They also have persuasive writing and Saints classes there too. Let's see, I talked about 3 times with the consultant. They also have a teacher-assisted and a teacher-directed program through Mother of Divine Grace that teacher-assisted, I believe, is once every 2 weeks. Does any Karen, do you know? Have you ever used the teacher-assisted or teacher-directed?
But I think assisted is twice a month. And
Twice a month, and direct is once a week, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where you just have someone calling and checking in with your student. Are they having problems in geometry or chemistry? They offer those programs. It is an additional fee to help you out with that. And they also have a learning support program, and that would be for the children who may have a learning disability. And the program, they work with you and have an individualized program for that child. Something new this year too, and I'm kind of eager to find out how it works, is that they are now going to an online syllabus beginning in the fall where you can access all the syllabus to all the classes that your children will be using through the computer. So I'm kind of anxious to see how that is going to work out too. But also I just wrote down real quick the suppliers for Mother of Divine Grace. Okay, where do you get their curriculum? Where do you get their syllabus? Emmanuel Books is the #1 supplier for Mother of Divine Grace, but also Sacred Heart Books carry their books and syllabus. And then, you know, just Amazon, Barnes and Noble, you can get a lot of those on that. Does anyone have any questions?
I actually do.
Sure.
If my oldest is taking Algebra 1 through a program called Teaching Textbooks,
Okay.
it keeps, it's like Saxon's guide, CDs that they have, and it keeps a record for you, it keeps a grade book. Do you know if Mother Divine Grace allows that as a substitute for their, whatever they use it for algebra?
You know what, I believe they do, because I was using Jacob's Geometry and that's what they recommend for the geometry course. It is an extremely difficult geometry book. Actually, friends of ours said that is a college textbook. So, and I called and said, would you accept if I use teaching textbooks? And they said yes. So that's what we used, and for our geometry just this past year.
We use teaching textbooks.
Yeah,
for
and
high school.
that's fine.
Can I ask an off question? Have you found those? This will be our first. We've used teaching textbooks since 4th grade, 5th grade, but this will be our first time jumping into algebra and that kind of the higher level math. So you found those to be really good?
Well, we're just doing pre-algebra right now.
Yeah. Okay. After 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, see, we've used Saxon. Since from 4th grade we start with Saxon, but like I said, with my first 3, we just found that geometry, and I cannot think that way. I cannot think in 3 dimension, anything like that. So a friend of mine said, try teaching textbooks. And it was so much better. Just the way it was presented, So, but I called my consultant and checked, because you don't want to be taking something all year and then find out that that's not an acceptable textbook to use, and they said that's fine, great, go for it. So
And
we did.
how do they allow you to use, say, like Fruits of the Spirit? So we're going to be in Mary's medieval history class next year. If we take that this year and say he's in 8th grade next year, and we enroll him with Mother of Divine Grace in 9th grade, will they accept Mary's class?
They
Do you
do.
know?
My son was in it, and in Mary's class, and they accepted it just fine.
When he was in 8th grade.
if he takes it while he's in eighth grade.
But
Oh,
you
eighth
can
grade.
take, in eighth grade, you can take, seventh, eighth grade, you can take high school level courses
Yeah.
as long as it's a high school level course, which that is.
And Mother of Divine Grace does put that in the transcript.
So they allow you the flexibility to use something like the co-op,
Yes.
Yeah.
as long as you okay it with
Yes.
them to make sure
It's,
it's it.
that course is actually based on the syllabus.
Okay.
So
Well, that's what I was
they were
going to
asked me.
do. None of my kids have ever taken any of Mary's classes, but they have taken Brooke's. And when Brooke Roberts first started the program that she's doing, the Fruits of the Spirit, she actually went to Mother Divine Grace and looked at their syllabus and kind of aligned it for that. So, yes.
You all might have some advice on this, but the schools near us are starting algebra in 8th grade, so the kids are taking algebra 1 in 8th grade, and geometry in 9th grade, and so they're kind of advancing all the math, and I suspect it's because they're trying to prepare them to be ready for the SAT exam or the PSATs or the ACTs. I don't know. And I have one in high school. She's the first, so she's the guinea pig, but I don't know that whether or not, so Mother of Divine Grace and Seton and everybody starts with algebra in 9th grade, and are they ready for the SAT exam by the time, because you all been through it, are they ready if you just follow that path, or is that not, or should we be advancing them?
ACT, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, covers algebra 1 and 2 and geometry.
Yeah.
So at the end of junior year, you should have the 3 that you needed. In fact, you might be fresher for them than
Yeah.
Are they
someone who's
supposed to
taking.
take it at the beginning of their junior year,
Normally
the
toward
ACT
the
or
end.
SAT?
I'd say the
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
time is the end of
Yeah.
junior year.
End
Yeah.
of junior year.
You can always take it
You
earlier.
can take it again, so.
Yeah.
So it's many times. So following that path, it doesn't make sense, because I want them to learn it and be mature enough to learn it. So pushing it younger and younger doesn't seem smart to me.
No.
It depends on their maturity.
Depends on the
Depends
child.
on the child, yeah.
I mean,
And I know the Saxon math, Saxon Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, that includes all the geometry you need to take the SAT test. So it's just usually.
Interesting.
It's not usually not a problem.
So, okay.
But Mary Jo said it depends on the
Right.
child.
I can comment on that. My youngest son, we put him in regular school for 8th grade, and they did that exact same thing. He got high school credit for an algebra class.
Correct.
Brought him back home this year, and tested him with the Saxon to get an evaluation like where he was, because they recommended he got A's all the way through.
Right.
Algebra 1, just aced the class, star student in the class. So I thought, okay, and Mother Divine Grace says to do Algebra 1
in ninth
in
grade.
9th grade.
Right,
I
so
thought,
does Seton.
so I gave him the evaluation just to see. He did not do well at all on it.
After
We're
that,
doing
all
Algebra
A's in
1
eighth
again
grade.
this year.
Right, so
Because it was, it was
a different
what
curriculum.
Mother
Different
Divine was
style.
doing was very inferior to compared to what Mother Divine Grace was doing. So I was surprised. So he's doing Algebra 1 again because I didn't feel like
he was right.
it was adequate. And the school kept saying, oh no, he's ready for geometry, he's ready, blah, blah, blah. And I gave him the
Okay.
Saxon evaluation test and he did not do well at all. There was tons of stuff that they missed.
Mother of Divine Grace uses Saxon?
Yes.
In general? Okay.
Yeah, from 4th
Interesting.
grade
Up.
up,
Okay.
yes.
You know, I also wanted to add something. I use Seton curriculum,
So do I.
and they always let you advance. My son's in 8th grade, and he's completing, we're done really with Algebra 1. He has a couple more lessons left. But they always let you advance if you want,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Okay.
The question I had is, for Mother of Divine Grace, okay, if you call them and you get something okay to take in place of the class that they may be offering, what do you have to send into them, and will that actually show up on the transcripts as a regular class with a grade? How do they do that?
I'm not sure, like what, give me an example
Well,
of
like
the class,
even,
like the math class or like
You
the
like that
history and?
Fruits of the Spirit stuff.
Mhm.
Yes, how
So is
would,
it independent study, or does it show up as an independent study, or does it show up as
If it's,
actual
if
class?
it's British literature or medieval literature or something, that's what it's gonna say on your transcript.
Okay, that's what it
just
actually
says that. It
says.
doesn't say where they took it.
No,
What they
no,
used.
because you send in the grade.
Just says
Okay.
the subject and the grade they got and how many credits.
Yeah.
So they don't grade your things? Mother of Divine Grace doesn't do any of the grading for you?
Not with the normal program. Now, like the teacher assisted, teacher directed, you would send in the grades to them. But like, say, Mary was teaching one of your children. You know, Mary will grade and issue you a grade at the end of the semester for your child. You will take that grade, put it on the grade card, and submit it to Mother Divine Grace. Mary does not. You're still responsible for submitting your own child's grades.